Mother called my show pleading for help. Latasha is desperate to find out if her boyfriend, Roosevelt, has touched her 15-year-old daughter in a sexual manner. Roosevelt denies this and claims that her daughter is a liar and a manipulator.
It's shocking to me that this has even occurred in any way, shape, or form.
How long were you dating Roosevelt before you moved him into your house?
Actually, we weren't dating very long. It was kind of like we hit it off bat because I already knew his family and his family knew me, so.
So you really liked him?
Yeah,
Things worked out very naturally.
Yeah.
He's in the house, and while he was there, your daughter says that, you know, he hit you. Mm-hmm. Was he physically abusive to you?
In the beginning, no, he wasn't physically abusive. We were together maybe about 6 months, and then recently, in the beginning of October, was when it became physical.
How did you find out about what happened with your daughter?
She called me, hysterical, stating that, "Mama, he just tried to touch me," and I got out of the house, and so I told her, "Okay, just give me a minute." And I called the police. I had the police to meet me and my daughter. They took her report. And then I had the police escort me to the house where I was able to gather my things, and we got out of there that same night.
Do you think he's capable of doing these things?
With the way the story is told, it seems very believable, but I've had some troubles with my daughter fabricating stories before.
What was the relationship between her and him?
They really didn't have one.
Roosevelt, you're obviously here because your families knew each other. You went over there and you were what? You were attracted to her. You thought she was
Basically what she's saying is a lie. Honestly, she knew me through my family. We got connected. We hooked up. I moved in with her. Then I got a job and started working. Everything started going downhill for her. She lose a car.
So
she
things
lose
started
her job.
going downhill for her.
Correct. And then her daughter was sleeping in the living room, so I was like, well, we'll just get a 2-bedroom house because she is a daughter, she's 15, she is a teenager, she need her own privacy, she need her own restroom. So I get 2-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, and then we move in together. And like, me and her daughter used to like joke around, play, like she'll talk about me, say something funny about me, I'll say something funny about her.
So you're saying a decent relationship?
Yeah, we was interacting, but not constantly, just like periodically.
And nothing sexual
nothing
or
sexual,
flirtatious.
nothing like that.
What is your feelings towards Latasha?
I love Latasha.
You love her.
And I love her daughter. Like, I never would do anything like that.
So now, we'll get to that. You tell her to take the dog out. She's changing. She takes her clothes top off. She's there in her bra and panties. And you walk in the room and you start advancing on her.
No, sir. What happened was, I took Tasha to work. After I took Tasha to work, I came back home. The dog was supposed to be in the restroom. The dog wasn't in the restroom. The dog was already in Tonie's room. She was grounded, so I was being nice, letting her keep the dog in the room. I just knocked on the door, tapped twice, and cracked the door and said, Tonie, make sure you take the dog outside and use the restroom, because she's been allowing the dog to use it in the house.
So you never walked in and Tonie was in her bra and her panties?
No, sir. Never.
At no time?
No.
Even when you cracked the door open a little wide?
No,
she was dressed?
I never seen Tonie change.
She talks about you walked in on her bathroom intentionally.
And that was an accident. And I wasn't even in the house when she said she went in the restroom. I was outside.
When you walked in on her accidentally, did you stay and linger?
No, sir. I actually cracked the door open. When I cracked the door open, and she was right there, and I was like, oh, my bad. And I shut the door, and I turned around.
I want to know, did you really do this?
No, I did not do that to your daughter. You know I love your daughter.
Man, no, you don't. You don't even talk with her.
What you mean?
How are you gonna
I
say
don't
you
talk with her. I do talk with her on a daily basis. I don't talk with her like that because I'm like a nonchalant individual, but we joke around, I would never do that.
Man, the last time you even said 2 words to my daughter was when you was cussing her out when we got into that argument.
That was the last time
that was the last time you ever said anything.
Room and stay in a child place because I was telling you need to discipline your child.
Man,
because your child is always lying.
I'm not trying to hear that.
Manipulating everything.
I'm not trying to hear that. But look, I'm gonna tell you like this. If I find out that you even made an advance or even tried to touch her, I promise you going to jail.
Man, look at that.
I'm not trying to hear you.
Man, you know I love you. I love you and I love your daughter.
Man, I'm not
but
trying
you gonna sit up here and try to make it seem like I'm that type of individual to do something like that?
You never know. You the one who tell me.
But you gonna try to, you know me, you can look in my heart and you can tell me honestly that I would do something like that to a child. Look me in my eyes and look me in my heart and honestly tell me that I'm capable of doing something like that.
I don't know. You capable of putting your hands on me? So what's the difference?
I never put my hands on you physically.
Man, stop lying.
I never hit you.
Stop standing up here lying and just
I
tell
might
the truth.
push and shoved on you,
You shouldn't
but I
have,
never
you shouldn't even
hit
did
you.
that. You a man.
You a
shouldn't
man.
have even did that. You a man.
Bye.
You make sure you pass that test.
I'm gonna go back and talk to your daughter, and then I'll come out and we'll get to these lie detector results. Why don't you tell me what happened with Roosevelt as far as the bathroom goes?
Well, I was in my room at first, and I left out to go to the bathroom, and he watched me go in the bathroom.
You saw him watch you go into the bathroom?
Yeah. So I was in the bathroom, like not even 3 minutes later, he comes in there, and then he's like, oh, excuse me, and he just stood there and he was smiling, and then I was like, dude, get out. And he was still standing there, and then finally he had closed the door. So that was the first time that everything had happened.
That was the first time you thought, like, hey, this is creepy. You shouldn't be doing something like this, right? What was the next thing that happened?
Well, he took my mom to work. I'm just sitting there watching TV. My door is closed, but I didn't lock it. And he comes back and he lets my dog in. So my dog's on the bed, and I get up to change out of my shirt, and I didn't have a shirt on. So he comes in the room and he calls my name, and I was like, what are you doing? So he closes the door and he starts walking towards me, and then I'm telling him to get out, get out. So he starts walking towards me, and then the window is open, like the blinds are open, and somebody was passing by. So I started to scream, and then he backs up and he was like, you need to get the out. So I got my bag and I put my stuff in there, and I got my bike, and I went to my best friend's house and I called my mom there.
You're not saying any of this or exaggerating any of this because you don't like Roosevelt?
No.
This actually happened.
Yes.
And you're very brave to speak up and bring this to your mom and saying this happened, because if you didn't, it could have went farther. And so that was very brave of you to do that. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna find out the truth, okay? What do you have to say about what she said?
It's a lie, and she's good. I mean, she's good, because she's
Well,
persistent.
one of you are good, right? Either you're really good at lying or she's really good at lying.
Yeah, I'm good
And we're
at
gonna
being
find out
truthful.
who really is good at lying. Roosevelt, we asked you 5 questions. On the day of the incident with your girlfriend's daughter, did you reach for her breast in order to sexually touch her? You answered no. Did you purposely follow Tonie into the bathroom that day? You answered no. Did you stare at Tonie for your own sexual gratification when she was in the bathroom? You answered no. Have you ever spied on Tonie while she was undressing? You answered no. Do you have sexual feelings for your girlfriend's daughter, Tonie? You answered no. And the results all came back the same for each question. And the results are, Roosevelt, you did not tell the truth.
Oh my God!
What?
Oh my God!
I did not tell the truth. I did not, man, that's a lie, man. Man, that's a man.
Oh my God! You cannot. I want him arrested.
Oh, Lord,
you
man,
better
that's
call
a
that
man.
bitch on in
Man,
a cop
you-
car
man,
right now.
move.
Head it back home. You lying son
I
of a
did not
bitch.
lie to your
I'm
daughter.
not trying
I did
to hear
not
you.
lie.
You did lie.
I did not lie.
You did.
I did not
cannot
lie.
believe you would even do that.
Everything I love, I did not lie.
Man.
I ain't nothing like that, man.
In some, listen, in some sick way, I think you're trying to say, oh, I didn't have it. But I think you acted inappropriately with this young girl.
Steve, I never.
I think you acted inappropriately.
Lord.
And the good thing is,
Lord.
for you, Roosevelt, the good thing is that this girl took some action and stopped you from doing whatever you plan on doing. Because think of it. If you went through with this, you could be really in some really serious trouble.
I wouldn't be in no trouble because I never did nothing.
I did
Because she
everything
stopped
for
you.
you.
No,
when
she
you
never
lost.
stopped. It never transpired. It
She's
never
got to yell at
occurred.
you to get out of the bathroom. She's got to
She
tell you to
never
get out
do
of the
that.
bedroom
Come on.
Stop
while she's
lying.
taking her
The
clothes
test
off.
Nobody
results
lying
are,
about
man,
your
the test
daughter,
results
man.
are already there. It says you did not tell the truth. Just stop riding that lie. Stop riding that
your
lie.
Daughter is lying.
No, she not.
No, I'm gonna
I
ride
wouldn't even
that
let her
lie
take a
till I
lie
die because
detector
that-
test.
In the future,
You ain't
I'd be
no
really
good.
careful dealing with underage women and what you do. Because you are going to end up in jail if you keep doing what you're doing.
I never did nothing. So-
Get out of my stage, get out of my studio.
Lord.
Come on.